Bonelab is a bad game. You should buy it anyway. Let me explain. I am a huge VR enthusiast, and I have spent a ton of time in both Bonelab and its predecessor, Boneworks. I recently spent a full week on a VR treadmill, and Bonelab was actually one of my favorite games to play on it. I even still recommend buying the game, but I think that Bonelab is bad. Why? Let's start with the campaign. Spoilers ahead, by the way, although if we're being honest, there's not much story to spoil. You begin by rolling a die that gives you a player model, then being hung for a reason that never really gets explained, or if it is fully explained, I've missed it in all of my playthroughs. You survive and fall into a pit, and you explore these mysterious underground areas, and at this point you're probably thinking one of two things. One, wow, this is a really interesting mystery. I wonder where they're gonna go with all this. Or two, how the heck do I play this game? And this is because Bonelab is full of advanced mechanics that it just doesn't teach you how to use. To show just how bad a job teaching you Bonelab does, let's take a quick look at its prequel, Boneworks. In Boneworks, you start off with a tutorial on force grabbing and throwing objects, then go into what I consider to be the best tutorial level I have ever played, the museum. The museum has displays explaining how the physics are different from other VR games, how your inventory works, movement works, and exhibits that let you experiment with everything from the movement to the combat. By the end of it, you feel equipped and ready to take on the fantastic game that Stress Level 0 laid out for you. In contrast, Bonelab doesn't have a tutorial level. Instead, in level 1, it tells you to force grab this cube, then this knife, then after falling down a pit, you walk by this statue showing off an empty inventory. Past that, there is no tutorial. And the problems have only begun. Hopefully you weren't too excited to explore the mystery the first level introduced, because in level 2, the story gets completely derailed. We finished level 1, and level 2 is just a menu where you can go and play in any of the various sandbox modules. Time Trial, Arena, Parkour, Sandbox, Experimental, or Mods. To continue the story, you need to now visit at least 3 of these modules to open the door. But they have nothing to do with the story. And maybe I'm crazy, but I really enjoy the story mode in games and would love to see what the story is before going to the sandbox. But even if sandbox mode is your favorite part of a game, you're still in for an extremely unpleasant surprise. You load into a sandbox level and you get a spawner gun. Oh sweet, I can spawn in anything and make whatever I want. Wrong. Because by default, you have almost nothing unlocked. Just a couple of guns and objects. To unlock all of the fun stuff in the game, you need to search for these little Pokeballs throughout the campaign and pop them open to unlock whatever item is inside. Okay, well, at least I can switch between custom avatars like they showed in the launch trailer, right? Nope. Spoiler alert, you don't gain that ability until you're basically completely done with the campaign. Speaking of, let's continue on the campaign. After unlocking the door by playing the unrelated sandbox modes, you play 3 actually very fun campaign levels, albeit with that default avatar you rolled for in the beginning. Then you meet Jimmy here, who over the course of 6 more levels introduces you to all of the avatars you'll get to use. Each of these 6 levels is pretty short and gimmicky and, in my opinion, don't really have much replay value. You see, this is supposed to be like a speed level, and here I am like trying to flop my way around and dealing with these stupid barriers, and it's just not a good speed level. It's not good. And this one's bad too, because it's just this huge open arena, and there's people that shoot projectiles at this thing you're supposed to protect, and you just sort of stand here and throw them off the cliff for like 5 minutes, and it's just not a compelling level. I don't think I have anything that'll help me get there faster either. I have that block. That's all I've got. And now we start this long, arduous spacewalk all the way over that way. So see, I have gripes about this level too. Like, it's really interesting, but I don't think there's even like time trials or anything. And because you don't have anything unlocked, you can't really play around on the map yet. So, I don't know. Don't, no! And now I'm short. Gosh dang it. And I'm dead. I'm short and dead. This is just not a good level. Okay, you've made it through all those. Time for an exciting campaign with lots of opportunities to adapt to your environment with this awesome avatar selector that has been welded to your elbow. No. 2 more levels and the campaign is over. I'm not even kidding. You play 2 more levels and the game is over. Okay, well, what now? You can play through the campaign again with your avatar selector unlocked. You can do time trials, fight in the arena, or play sandbox. But remember, unless you are searching every little nook and cranny throughout the campaign, you'll still have almost nothing to play with in the sandbox mode, and in the arena you'll have almost no weapon choice. It was at this point that I found myself thinking, seriously? That's it? I collected quite a few little Pokeballs throughout my playthrough, but I still found that I had next to nothing to work with in the sandbox mode, or to use in the arena. I personally hate searching for hours on end to find collectibles, but it's mandatory in this game. This game was marketed as this great big physics sandbox, but they don't actually give you the tools to play in it. And if that was the end of the video, I'd say pick up the game on sale, enjoy the short campaign, and play around with the time trials for a bit, because the physics of the game are legitimately a ton of fun to mess around with. They're better than any other VR game I've used. Or if you're on PC VR, just get Boneworks, because it's a far superior campaign experience. But, like any good Bethesda game, that's not the end of it, because there are awesome people that'll mod your game into a full experience for you. First thing I recommend doing after beating the campaign is going online and downloading a 100% completed save file so you can actually experience the sandbox mode without spending an extra 30 or so hours hunting for unlockables. Instantly, this makes the game go from frustratingly empty to a fun world full of possibilities. Want to make a floating castle with the balloon gun? Go for it! Use your enemies as a rope swing, naturally. Go kart on the moon while using the ray gun on zombies? Heck yeah! Already played through the handful of included time trials? You can hop online and download tons of fan-made experiences that'll add hours of gameplay to Bonelab for free. It baffles me that so little of this game is made available to you unless you manage to scour for hours on end to find all 150 or so of these stupid little balls. As of recording this video, there aren't a ton of mods yet. The game has been out for about 2 weeks, and good mods do take time. Boneworks has many fantastic mods and maps, including multiplayer mods, and modding wasn't even officially supported for it, so I have no doubt that Bonelab will have an unreal amount of things to experience. Heck, there's already somebody working on modding the entire campaign of Boneworks into Bonelab. I can't wait to see what's possible in Bonelab a year from now. And this is where I get to the title of the video. Stress Level Zero have created a fantastic engine. They have optimized since Boneworks, making far more possible and still keeping the game looking and feeling really good. The movement, the weapons, the combat, the physics, they're all so good that no game even comes close in my eyes. But the vanilla experience? It's bad. It's short, it's confusing for new players, it's poorly paced, and making you search for 150 tiny little balls just to actually have fun in the sandbox mode that they so heavily push is insane to me. But if you're willing to download a save file and some extra levels, you will have the best, most polished VR experience out there, and it will keep you immersed for hours on end. I know that I personally will be putting tons of time into Bonelab as more mods get released. Too long, didn't watch? If you're gonna play vanilla, just buy Boneworks. But with mods, Bonelab is an incredible engine that is totally worth the price. Have you played Bonelab already? I'd love to hear your thoughts on the game in the comments. And be sure to subscribe to the channel. I have some great videos in the works, including one where I spent a full week on a VR treadmill, live on Twitch, never taking off the headset. You don't want to miss it. And, of course, if you want to catch me live, I stream several times a week over on Twitch. Okay, bye!